I'm excited for our students to return to school. I know many of them, as they return, are returning with some sense of relief, that they're returning to some normalcy. Many of them are also feeling happy to be back in a safe space. Many students went without, many were displaced. Therefore, when they come to school, one, they know they get to see their teachers whom they've missed and they've also worried about, as we've worried about them. Two, they get to connect with their friends that they haven't been able to see over the past couple of weeks. And then three, when they come, they know they have access to all of the resources that many of us went without during this time. I would like for our community to know that our main focus is them. We want to make sure that as they transition back into some sense of normalcy, that we are here, and there is absolutely no shame in letting us know where needs are. Our students are only as strong and as good as their family unit. And so at this time, it's important that we make sure we're focusing on their well-being as well as their family. We had the pleasure of assisting the nutrition department at one of our local schools, Glen Hills Middle, in distributing meals to those families. And it was an honor and a blessing to just be able to reconnect with our families as well as our community so that they know we care about how they're doing during this time, because this has been really tough for many of our families.
So last week, once we knew for sure that we were coming back and the decisions were made of when we were going to get back into the sites, we reached out to the managers and we set up some parameters, basically a get back to normal kind of routine and everything, and we provided them some different dates because we had to have deliveries come in because we did lose a lot of food. We had about 7 or 8 schools that lost both freezers and coolers, and then every school we made the decision that we were going to discard the cooler items because we didn't know how long the power had been off, and we just didn't want to take that chance. So our first step was we had to reach out to our vendors and set up deliveries and everything. And then of course for those sites that had lost everything, they had to have an additional delivery.
So in addition to that, our managers were also scheduling their staff to come in, finding out who's available, who wasn't, just to make sure that they would have everything ready for day one returning back to school.
And we wanted to make sure that, you know, we were exercising that compassion over compliance as far as, you know, there are a lot of people who still didn't have power or they were still dealing with, you know, the adjusters coming out and things like that. So some of our staff weren't even able to come in, and we wanted to make sure that we were understanding about that situation and worked with our staff.
So a part of getting ready to help students is making sure that the staff is well taken care of. And so with that in mind, the Student Services Leadership Team got together and determined that we would make sure to have mental health counselors, psychologists, social workers, as well as the school counselors on site to provide that additional layer of support that the adults who would be working with our students might need as they work through their own challenges related to Hurricane Helene. We also have in place a connection plan whereby we have been making concerted efforts to make sure that we reach out to families, particularly of those students who have not shown back up during the 16th, 17th, and 18th. And so it's really just about concern, connection, and care. And we are reaching out to them to find out what supports they need so that they can be able to return to school.
I feel extremely blessed to be a part of the RCSS family. Not only are we focused on the well-being of our students, but as stated, we focused on our community. We wanted to get back to a place where our students and our families felt safe, they felt important, and they felt seen. And so during that time, in serving all of the families, I'm hoping that they now know that we're not just about educating students, but taking care of the whole child. And in taking care of the whole child, they are included in that. Our number one priority will always be our students. And so I feel lucky and blessed to just simply be a part of a school system that practice what we preach.